Hello, welcome to December to Remember. I'm so happy to be here even though I'm virtually with you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I'm looking forward to hopefully getting your questions from the host and answering it in another video. My name is Omotola and let's get started. So I chose not to do a fancy presentation or have a PowerPoint because I want to speak heart to heart with you. I want you to know that your dreams are valid and it's not impossible for you to be able to come and study abroad in whatever country or region of your choice. So remember that your dreams are valid and it can definitely come to pass. And so I'm going to go over what I'm going to talk about, and then I hope you find it beneficial. And if any questions come up, you can send it to the host and she will get it to me and I'll get it across to you. So let's get started. So I'm going to share about my background and just tell you my story, and then also talk about mindset, why it's important to have a positive mindset. I'll also talk about taking massive action. What does that mean and what does that require of you? Then I'll also talk about the application checklist, what you need to know and have in mind when you're applying to study abroad. And then I'll cover scholarships. How do you get funding to help you advance your dream of studying abroad? So let's get started. So I'm going to share a bit about me. And so I know that on the flyer you see that I'm a PhD student. Yes, I'm a PhD student at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And also, I'm also an assistant professor at another university where I teach college students and university students different things when regarding social work and working with people. But beyond this, I'll tell you a backstory. So, about some years ago, I was 14 years old and I got my report card back from my school. I was still in secondary school then, and my dad was one who brought it home. And when I opened it, I was asked to repeat a class that I already took. That was SS1. So it totally became something that was crippling for me. I could not believe it. I was so devastated. I didn't know what to do, and I was just crying my eyes out. And I started calling myself a repeater, that I'm a failure. I was so ashamed because everybody usually sees me with books, and then now I have to repeat a class. 1 whole year, all my other friends will move forward and I have to stay back, and my juniors are going to meet me in that class. So that was very crushing, and I just thought that I was never going to survive it. I just wanted the floor to open up and swallow me up, basically. And so that was a very hard period of my life, and I was just not happy about it. So my parents called me and said, we know you tried your best. You have two choices. You can either stay at the same school and repeat, or go to another school and still repeat. We're not going to help you to change your score to move on to, you still have to repeat, but you have a choice. Stay at the school that you're asked to repeat or go to another school. And so they gave me like a week to decide. And so after a lot of crying, shouting at myself, of course, and at God, and asking why, I made up my mind and I told my parents I'm going to stay in the same school and repeat. And so that was settled. And so that's sort of where I'm coming from. So even though you're seeing this person who, like I said before, I'm an assistant professor, I'm about to finish my PhD, it was never like that. I didn't start out being great. I had failures, I had setback. And also another thing is like, I was not born to a rich family. That's another thing. I don't know where you're hearing me from, but if you're familiar with Ibadan, I grew up in Yemetu Oja, for that matter. And I lived the first 13 years of my life in Yemetu. That's where I was born and that's where I grew up. So, yes, I'm now here in the US and I'm talking to you through a video, but my beginnings was very, very, very small. Even my dad up to today still call himself a bush boy. He said he came from the village of Alagba. So know that your background does not equal your future. I really want to stress that your background, your current circumstance, whether your parents are rich or not, whether they finished secondary school, primary school, or went to university, does not determine what will happen with your own life. You are in control of your life. You can move forward. You can be the one to carry forth the torch and make impossible things happen. You can be the first in your family for whatever thing that you believe your family does not have that makes you at a disadvantage. You can change that story. So don't allow your background, where you are from, who your parents are, what school you went to or did not go to, limit your potential. If you're serious about your life, if you're serious about your dream, then it is not impossible. You have everything it takes to make it happen. And I'm so thankful that you have this support from the SAC network. And I'm so thankful for the presenter and the host of this program and this opportunity that they are giving you to be aware of different opportunities for you. But I want to be clear about that. Your background does not equal your future. It's all in your hands. Yes, you may not have everything that every other person have in the world, but you are alive, you're well, you have your mind, you have the motivation. You chose to show up for this program, and that matters. That is important. And because you're willing to do the work, then your dreams are valid, your dreams are possible, and you can definitely make it happen. So that is that about my story. And then now to mindset. This is very important and key. The kind of mindset you have can either make or mar you in the whatever process, and especially in this study abroad process. Your mindset is very, very important. So when I was still in school and I was finishing up my secondary school education, I was supposed to register for JAM. My parents gave me the money. I actually registered for it anyways. Then it came to the day of the examination. I did not show up. Instead, I went to my friend's house and just stayed there to hang out with her. And I'm sure you're thinking, what is the point of this story? I'll get to it. And so the time for the result came and everybody was checking the result and we're happy and everything. And my parents asked me, where is your result, Tola? And I'm like, well, I did not sit for the JAM exam. And they were like, what? You did not sit for the JAM exam? Or I said, yes, I did not sit for the JAM exam. Anyway, they wanted to kill me basically. Like, you know, the killing, I mean, like beat you up or abuse or insult you. That what kind of wasteful child are you? How can you waste our money? How can you lie to us and those kind of things? So that was sort of what was going on with that. And so that's what, and back to my point of mindset. So for me, I discovered that I did not want to study in Nigeria, and it was based on two things. One, the quality of education that I was seeing produced in the university system was not really good, and then the degree I really wanted to study was not also available. And so I just felt like, what is the point of limiting myself to Nigeria if I know that what I really want to do, no one is offering the course yet? And then two, the strike. That was another factor. Like, I had an elder brother and some friends who were ahead of me, who were in the university, and I saw the way that they can go on strike for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months at all, and it will cripple their education and stop it for a while. And for me, I was like, as much as I want to learn, as much as I want to be in school, I like the best of both worlds. I want to be able to use what I'm learning. And I just felt like if I chose to stay in Nigeria, then I will not be able to learn as fast as I want and be able to start acting on the things I'm learning. And so those were the two big factors for me. So when the time for JAM came, I felt like I was going to be limiting myself if I sat for JAM. And because I knew the kind of parent I had and the kind of people I was dealing with, I knew that if I took the JAM, they might not take me seriously when I say I want to study abroad. And so by not going for the exam and knowing that my parents will want me to stay at home for 1 year doing nothing, I backed them into a corner. And so because of that, now that it's funny, but then it was not funny at all. So because of that, I knew that if I give them an alternative, they will most likely want to act on it, because the option was no longer available to choose or to say, oh, well, you already did JAMB and you passed, so you should not bother to study abroad. And so that was when I proposed to them that I would like to study abroad, and this is the kind of exams I need to do, and these are the processes for it. And so mindset is so I made up my mind. So you have to decide and make up your mind and decide that I am going to make this happen. I will do whatever it takes, of course, legally and in the right form, to make it happen. And then focus on it and zoom on it. Do not for once try to reason with yourself that, well, it might not happen. Believe that it will happen and do the work to make it happen. So your mindset is very important. And then this brings me to saying affirmations. What do you say to yourself? Do you see yourself as valuable, as worthy? Because sometimes what we say to ourselves cripples us more than what we actually do. So sometimes you might say to yourself, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm a failure. Like I told you before, I repeated. So I was telling myself I was a repeater, but I was able to change myself and just affirm that no, I'm not a failure. No, yes, I mean, I've repeated, that's just one incident. It does not determine the overall of my life. It does not mean that I will never be successful. It does not mean that I am a failure. And so it is important what you say to yourself and what you believe and what you say out with your mouth as well. So if you are struggling to really believe that this is possible for you, for especially if you're looking using your background or what your parents have or who they don't know to determine whether this can work, then you need to change the narrative and say positive things to yourself. You need to be able to speak up and speak out for yourself and say, this is what I want. I will make it happen. Whatever it takes, I will do the work. I will do it and I'll make it happen. And so whatever it is that you believe in, if you can find motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, or people you look up to, get those things and start seeing it, visualize it. See yourself applying for your visa and getting it. See yourself applying to the university and getting an acceptance letter where you jubilate and do your best dance possible. See yourself entering a plane. See yourself being in that environment you want to see, the school that you want to go to. Visualize it, see it, and every day before you sleep, when you wake up, remember it and just see how it feels to see it come to pass. So your mindset and what you say to yourself is very important in this journey of being able to study abroad. And now to massive action. And so with massive action, what does this mean? So yes, it's okay. It's good to know that your background does not equal your future. It's good to have a good mindset. It's good to have a positive outlook, to say positive things about yourself and about your situation. But beyond all of these things, you need to back it up with action. Massive action. So for me, before I chose not to do JAMB, I did my research. I googled. I was spending hours and hours in cyber cafes because then there was no personal computer or phone in that sense that I had, and I went there and asked questions from people. And so for you, if you know what you want and you know this is the university I want to go to, this is the course of study, start doing your research. Find out what will it take, what will I need to make this possible, what does it require, what will it take of me, do I need to study harder, do I need to work harder, what exactly will it take? And start doing those things now. Don't wait. Start doing those things now. You need to start volunteering your time, your talent in some places, because all of those things will matter going forward in your application, and I will talk about that. So take massive action. Like, don't just sit on your hand and wait that, oh, miracle will happen and then all of a sudden you get an opportunity. Go out and find that opportunity. Talk to people, talk to programs and say, okay, what does it take to be able to achieve this dream, this big goal of me going to this particular university or college? What does it require? What do I need to know? Who do I need to talk to? What exam do I need to sit for? How will I even get the money to pay for these examinations and things? Do I need to start looking for a part-time job, or do I need to start a MTN or Glow recharge card business where I'll be saving up those income? So you need to take actions, you need to take steps. Don't just sit on your hand and say, oh, it will just fall on me. it requires you to take actions. It requires you to go for it and try and make it happen yourself as well. And now to the application checklist. And yes, we're getting closer to what you really, really want to know, which is about the funding part. I promise I'll get there. And so now to the application checklist. So if you are in high school right now, secondary school, and you're thinking of coming to study for your bachelor's in the United States or Canada or the UK, I'm just going to go over some things that you need to know that you will need. And so sometimes, depending on the country you're going to, you may have to sit for 1 or 2 examination. That can be SAT, that can be TOEFL, which is Test of English as a Foreign Language, or ESL, IESLT. So depending on the program and the kind of opportunity that you're seeking in terms of the kind of school and the degree, it will determine the kind of exam you have to sit for. And then beyond that, you also need like letters of recommendation. So most school ask for 2 to 3 letters of recommendation, which is also reference letter. So 2 or 3 people, they'll ask to talk about you and say, why should we accept this student into the school? Why is this person a good fit for this program or this degree that they're seeking? Also, you will need to write essays. They call it personal statement, which might be like 2 to 3 pages, sometimes 3 to 5 pages, where you share with the admission people why the university, why the degree. And so those are some things that you need to have and you have to have in place. Then also your transcript from like your secondary school examinations you've taken, and then if you start for WAEC or NECO or GCE, that also might be required as well during the application process. And then you also might be required to write like literally 2 essays about, okay, if it's a specific field like engineering or STEM, it's like, why is this field important? And so and then you might have to fill online applications. Sometimes some people do the physical one where you print out the application, but it's rarely like that now. So most application is online, and then you just create a username and password and then fill out all the information. So those are some of the things you need to note when it comes to applying for the degree and to be able to study abroad. And now to the main thing that we've been waiting for, and I know you're eager to hear this. So how do you ensure that you are able to fund your education? Because it's not cheap and it's expensive, especially when we look at the exchange rate between Nigeria and other countries. And so it's very key and important that you definitely have opportunities for funding that you should be aware of in this process. So there are about 6 or 7 different kind of funding opportunity, and I'm going to sort of share about them now. So number 1 is called the merit-based or academic, and basically what this means is that based on your score, so like I said before, you might need to submit your transcript, submit exams, reports, also submit essays and write some examination. So when you do all of that and you submit it to a university or a program, they will review it, give it a certain score, and if you score very high on it, based on your good transcript, good letter of recommendation, good essays, they might offer you a scholarship. It can be fully funded, 75% funded, 50% funded. But usually if they're considering you for that kind of, then it's usually fully funded. And basically it means that because you did so well during your secondary school years in your exam, the school believe that you will be a great investment for them to invest in you, and they will offer you a spot and they will pay for your admission and then your tuition fee and some other things. So that is based on how good you are academically. The second kind of scholarship or funding that might be available is called the need-based or financial hardship scholarship. So for this kind of scholarship, basically it is used and given to people who, yes, they did well, but maybe you didn't do too well. You're like an average student. Your score were not exceptional, but you did okay that you were able to get admission. But because you don't have the money you need to be able to like pay for the tuition, so the school might have a fund they call the financial hardship or need-based scholarship, in which they have a slot for 2 to 3 students per year or per term to say if the students are good, they did really well, but they still didn't qualify for the academic or merit-based scholarship, but they are having hardship in paying for it, then we will sponsor them. And so that's what we mean by the need-based or scholarship or financial hardship scholarship. And then the third one is the talent or unique gifting or skill scholarship. And so this is where maybe you like to sing, you like to play music, not like piano, violin, like a music instrument, drum, you are good in like acting, in dancing, and things like chess and things like that. So some schools have scholarship for that. So based on your talent, they might say, oh, if you come to our school, we'll offer you a full scholarship if you are part of our music program, if you are part of our music program, if you are part of our drama program, if you are part of our chess club, if you are part of whatever program it is that they have. So they are scholarship for special talent or skills. And so if you have a specific skills that is a good fit for that school, you might get funding for your education because of that as well. And the next one is sport or athletic. And so this is also like a talent scholarship, but I kept it in different category because they're different in the whole. So for sport or athletic scholarship, so this is when a school offer you admission already, and then let's say you indicated that you are good at playing football or basketball or swimming or soccer, depending on the country you are in, or baseball. So depending on or running, either long running, marathon running, or relay race. So all of those sport also, there are scholarship available for it, and you can get fully funded for your degree if you can use your athletic strength and talent to serve the school. Then you get to go to the school for free. And then the next one is the government/private scholarship. So sometimes there are opportunity for public-private partnership where the government will come, or a particular company will come and say, you know what, we want to send specific kind of student to go and train further for the education, and then after they do that abroad, they will come home and work for us or come back to their particular country and use it to better the country. And so an example of that is like the Fulbright Scholar program. It's a scholarship program that will fully fund students to come and study in another country, and then based on what your degree is or how long the program will take, after it's over, then you have to return to your country to use whatever you learn to help advance your country. Another one is the Chevron Scholarship, and that is mostly for UK, but I think it can be applicable to other places as well. So you apply and say, okay, this is new, I want to go and study for my undergraduate or your master's, and then because of that, you get fully funded for that. But this might require separate application beyond your normal application to the school. And then another one is the Leadership or Community Service Scholarship. So if you're the kind of person who always volunteer your time, your effort, your energy, you help people that are not as advanced as you are a leader, you have been able to hold different leadership position and do a lot of great projects. So there might be opportunity for scholarship for you as well, because that means that they see you as a valuable person who can contribute greatly to the university and help advance like student club and things like that. And so your leadership skills, your leadership potential can be a factor that can help you get fully funded education abroad. And the last but not the least is what I'll call like a personal background kind of scholarship. And basically what it means is that beyond all of the scholarships, sometimes schools or programs will look deeply into you and say, okay, this person is a woman or a girl. And because of that, based on the statistics on the world, a lot of girls don't have as much of opportunity as the male. So we would like to have a special scholarship that every year 5 to 10 girls will get the opportunity to study a particular program because of who they are, that they're a girl. Sometimes they may say the country you're coming from, so specific country might get the opportunity to be able to go to school for free on the program that you choose because you're coming from a country. Sometimes it might be because you have a disability, maybe you have a specific issue, like, and you're like handicapped in one way or the other, and because of that you qualify for a scholarship. Sometimes it can also be just things like that makes you different and unique that other people might not have in this program. Since that this is valuable, they want diversity, and so you are accepted for that as well. And so one of the things I would say is that as you go about your chance of getting into a school, when you apply, there's some schools that offer waivers. So basically it means like instead of having to pay like $50 to $75 to $100 per application for your admission, they'll, if you email them in advance or call to say, oh, my name is blah blah blah, I'm from this country, is there an application waiver? So that is also possible for you to get like that money taken care of, and then you can submit your application without having to pay as well. Not every school does that, but some do. So like I said, you have to do your research, you have to take massive action. And just to recap overall, one, your background does not equal your future. Just because you were born in a place or with certain kind of parents does not mean that you cannot reach your dream. So never let anyone tell you that your dreams does not matter because of who you are, who your parents are, and where you were born. 2, mindset is very important. What do you say to yourself? How do you view yourself? Do you stand up for yourself? Do you show up for yourself? Do you speak positive things to yourself, whether in your head or out here as you speak out loud? Speak out what you would like to see and manifest it with taking massive action, which is the top point. Manifest your desire, manifest your goal, manifest your dream by doing the work. If you don't do the work, it's not going to happen. So it's not enough for you to believe that, oh yes, my background is not equal my future. I can do all things. I am strong, I'm powerful, I'm talented. You need to do the work. So do your research, find out what you need, what it would take for you to make it happen, and work it out. Ask for help if you need it, seek guidance if you need it, and do your research. Ask, seek, and you will find the answer you need, and then act upon it and do what you have to do. And then we also talked about the application list. So the various things that you will need to do. Online application is most likely what you have to do. You may have to sit for some exams. Sometimes you don't have to. You will need at least 3 letters of recommendation, and then you have to write personal essays. And lastly, different kind of scholarship or funding opportunities you can use. And so I talked about the academic and the merit based, where it's based on your score. If you do really well, you're being the first in your class, you're getting all A's, so your chances are higher to get the merit/academic scholarship. The other one is the need based or financial hardship. So maybe you're a really good student, but you didn't make the mark for the academic scholarship, but you're a strong candidate, and because you cannot pay, they will be willing to give you the opportunity to say, okay, you know what, because of not having funding and because of the fact that your parent cannot afford to pay for your school fees, we have a fund that we can help finance your education. And the next is the talent/unique gifting. So whether you know how to drum, you know how to make things with your hand, you know how to sing, you know how to dance, you know how to rap, that can come in handy as well. And those talent and skills can work with for you. And then we talk about sports, yes, athletics. So whether it's baseball, basketball, swimming, running, football, this can also be an avenue for you to get funded and get a scholarship. And then there is the government/private partnership, where different like government entities or private companies come together and create a fund for you to be able to come and study abroad and then come back and use whatever you learned for the good of your community. Then we have the leadership/community service scholarship, where based on your leadership position, how you lead people, the project you run, that can be very helpful in getting you to also get a scholarship. And then lastly, we have the personal background/minority kind of scholarship, where who you are, a specific feature of something about you can be what it is that will be required for you to get the funding. So I hope you found this very helpful, and I hope you learn one or two things. And like I said before, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask the host, and she'll get them to me, and then I'll do another video to answer them. So thank you for listening and watching this. Know that I'm rooting for you, and you have all it takes to be successful, and I know that you can make your dream come to pass. And a big thank you to the SAC Network and to the host for having us. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I am just so thankful for you and the work that you do in this world. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and the week. And you can always reach out to me. My Instagram handle is at @tripleola. So it's is the number 3 PLEOLA at @tripleola. So you can find me on Instagram with that as well. So thank you, and talk to you later. Bye for now.